Hey everyone, welcome to today's show. Right now, at the end of 2025, China's housing market is like a badly built skyscraper. The foundation was already weak. There weren't enough steel bars. Then a super cold economic storm hit. Now the whole building is collapsing faster and faster. On one side, you have Vanke, once the best student in the class, getting kicked down to selective default by an international ratings company. On the other side, Beijing is desperately saying, hey non-Beijing people and families with more than one kid, please come buy another apartment. At the exact same time, Shanghai Construction, a huge world-famous company, quietly tells tens of thousands of workers, go home, stay home. We can't pay you normal wages anymore. Developers are begging lenders to wait longer for money. The government is trying to find new buyers to take the bad houses. Even giant state-owned builders are sending workers home to barely survive. This is not a normal slowdown. This is the government, after squeezing generations of people dry through real estate, now passing the huge mess down to everyone else. Today we talk about these three big things. S1, Vanke. From perfect student to selective default. Even the government's favorite company can't be saved. In the official story, companies like Evergrande and Country Garden blew up because they were too greedy or expanded too fast. But Vanke is different. Vanke was the model student. It had government background. It had big support from Shenzhen Metro, trillions in assets, hundreds of thousands of employees, projects all over the best cities. For many middle-class families, Vanke felt like the safest choice. Then in December 2025, S&P, a big international ratings company, dropped Vanke's credit rating straight to SD. That means selective default. Why? Because a 2 billion yuan bond came due on December 15 and Vanke couldn't pay it. They got a normal 5-day grace period. Then they stretched it to 30 days. To the world, that's not a small delay. That's a real default in disguise. Sure, the lenders said, okay, we'll wait. But everyone knows they just tied a longer fuse to the bomb. Even worse, this is only the beginning. In the next 6 months, Vanke has at least another 9 billion yuan in bonds coming due. Total debt. Over 360 billion yuan, about 50 billion US dollars. If it turns into a full debt restructuring, it will be one of the biggest real estate clean-ups in Chinese history. Some people still say, don't worry, Shenzhen Metro will save their Aosun. But Shenzhen Metro already lent over 30 billion yuan. They can't keep pouring money forever. If they do, they might drown too, and their bosses could get investigated for giving away too much. Most important, the central government still hasn't brought out any big rescue package. No giant money bailout, no national fund to buy bad projects, no mass takeover of unfinished buildings. Instead, they just say, we will solve this in a market way and by law, which really means drag it out as long as possible, extend deadlines. When it finally breaks, let the market clean up the mess. When even the best student Vanke gets thrown into the trash pile of selective default. The message is clear. The government is not trying to save real estate companies anymore. They are just treating them like bad garbage to get rid of. As long as the regime stays stable, anything can be sacrificed. V2. Beijing loosens rules 3 times, but prices keep falling. They're just picking the last buyers. Cease. At the same time Vanke defaulted, Beijing tried another rescue. On December 24, they announced new rules. Non-Beijing families now need 1 less year of tax or social security to buy. Families with 2 or more kids can buy 1 extra apartment inside the 5th Ring Road. Beijing families with many kids can have up to 3 homes. Non-Beijing families with many kids can have 2. Second home down payment with Gongzijin dropped from 30% to 25%. This is already the 3rd big loosening since last year's September 30 policy. You would think prices should go back up, right? Wrong. Beijing real estate agents are very honest. After last year's policy, second-hand home prices were around 48,600 yuan per square meter. Now in November 2025, they're down to 42,600, a 15% drop. Sales went up for a short time, but only because prices were cut, not because prices are rising. Official numbers are ugly too. National Bureau of Statistics, Dec 15.9. New home prices nationwide fell 2.4% year-on-year in November. Second-hand homes in big cities fell 5.8%. Beijing second-hand fell almost 6.8%. Smaller cities fell over 5%. Another report from China Index Academy 100 cities second-hand prices dropped 0.94% in 1 month, and that's the 43rd month of falling in a row. Compared to last year, down almost 8%. The boss of Bake's biggest real estate platform said on December 12th, this year there are 6.5 million second-hand homes for sale on their platform, 60% more than 4 years ago. In big cities, owners are lining up to sell. Buyers can choose. Supply is huge. Demand is tiny. And right now the government is telling certain people, quick, come buy another house! We'll give you a discount. It's not really a discount. It's helping developers clear old inventory. It's helping local governments hide their land debt holes. It's dropping the future risk of falling prices onto the most worried families. The ones who need good schools, good hukou, good future for their kids. Even agents quietly tell clients rules will keep getting looser. If it's not a must-buy, wait. They know this is not about making prices go up. This is about getting as many people as possible to buy before prices fall even more. 63. Shanghai construction sends tens of thousands home. Even iron rice bowls are breaking. Beijing loosening rules shows they're hunting for new buyers. Shanghai construction's rest-at-home policy shows even government workers are getting crushed. In mid-December, a document leaked. Shanghai Construction Group's personnel rest-at-home management method. A translation: too few projects, too many workers. Extra people go home. They wait. Company pays only basic living money, close to minimum wage. Social insurance still gets paid, but workers pay their share from that tiny amount. So some guys who used to earn 8,000, 10,000 yuan a month now get only about 600 yuan. Will they ever get called back? Or after a year of rest, will they quietly lose the job? Nobody knows. Shanghai Construction is a World 500 company, one of the top 10 contractors in the world. Lots of civil engineering graduates dreamed of working there, thought it was a job for life, an iron rice bowl. 2025 killed that dream. Why? Because even the biggest builders have no more money left. The land bosses ran out of food. One graduate from Tongji University posted on Shukyu, 90% of his classmates went to Shanghai Construction. The group has dozens of big companies under it, all building stuff in Shanghai. Now the chat group is exploding because of this rest-at-home rule. Tens of thousands sent home, only 2,000 to 3,000 yuan a month. Social fees and housing fund taken out of that. Everyone is shocked. The once strong Shanghai Construction has come to this. And it's not just them. Hefei Construction, 67 years old, went bankrupt this year. Assets 12.7 billion, debt 16.2 billion. Many other big local construction companies, Jiangsu Xian, Nantong Fujian, all had money problems, bankruptcy, or restructuring. They got rich when real estate was booming. They got killed when developers like Evergrande and Country Garden couldn't pay. When the bubble was growing, these companies ate the big profits. When it popped, they couldn't handle the unpaid bills. So they use fancy names like rest at home or talent storage pool to push the pain onto normal workers, when even iron rice bowl workers are cut to survive. This crisis is way bigger than just falling house prices. So who pays for this housing disaster? The government calls it gentle price adjustment. But for regular families, it's a huge disaster. Former Statistics Bureau Chief Zhu Xiaohua just spoke at the Beijing 2026 conference. He said houses make up over 77% of Chinese family wealth. In America, it's only 34.6%. From the highest prices until now, Chinese families lost about 60 trillion yuan in home value on paper. That's half of 1 year's entire GDP. This is not just numbers on a screen. It's real money wiped out from family bank accounts, hundreds of thousands, even millions per family. Studies say every 15% drop in house prices means the average family loses about 230,000 yuan. Per person, around 450,000 yuan lost. In bad areas, it's much worse. Some Shanghai neighborhoods went from 96,000 yuan per square meter down to 48,000, cut in half. Beijing suburbs dropped from 30,000 to 8,000, almost worthless overnight. The worst part is negative equity. Young couple buys a house in 2021 for 2 million yuan. They empty 6 families' savings for the down payment. Now, in 2025, the house is worth only 1.4 million. They want to sell to stop the bleeding. But the bank loan still left is 2 million. If they sell, they get 1.4 million and still owe 600,000. They lose the house and owe extra money. The house went from treasure to handcuffs. When everyone's wealth crashes like this, people stop spending. First 3 quarters of 2025, the Chinese people saved over 163 trillion yuan, up 10.2% from last year. But shopping and spending grew only 4.5%, almost half of pre-pandemic levels. Research shows for every 1% wealth drop in houses, families cut spending by 0.32%. So now everyone holds tight to their money. No new car, no renovation, no second baby. Qiu Xiahua called this the biggest housing disaster in human peacetime history. The amount of wealth lost is even bigger than the 2008 US subprime crisis, by half. This is not a house falling down. This is a government that spent decades telling people, house, pet wealth. House to safety. Now they coldly tell you, it can disappear just like that. This is not the market failing. This is the collapse of a whole system the government built for 20 tough years, sell land to feed local budgets, push super high prices, create super high debt, use a Ponzi-style pre-sale system to take 30 years of people's savings before the building is even finished. When prices only went up, it looked smart. When prices fall, it becomes unfinished buildings everywhere, banks full of bad loans, and millions of families who can't pay. So friends, this is not the market's fault. This is what happens when one powerful regime uses land and houses to squeeze all the extra money out of society, borrow from the future, and then leaves the huge bill for regular people to pay. Thank you for watching. See you next time!